what's going on YouTube? One only Xram here. So, you know, I've been seeing a lot of vlogs recently about relationships and partners, and I've seen vlogs from both sides, you know, from male and female, and I figured I would be able to weigh in on this and kind of put it in perspective of someone that obviously has been in a relationship for over 10 years, been married to this person for 5 years now, and has really had to gone through a lot of relationship struggles along the way, especially starting out dating. My wife and I met while I was going through schooling for the military, and I'd met her with about a month and a half left of the particular station I was at to still be at. So when we started dating, I knew within a month, and she knew within a month, that I'd be leaving. The only thing is, about the end of that month, I found out where exactly I was going, and that was over to Japan. So I was literally with her for a month, and then went to California for a couple more months, and then was off to Japan. So I had actually been with my wife a whole, what was it, month and a half, and then 2 weeks on vacation in California. And then it was 3 years gone and 45 days physically together in those 3 years while I was overseas. So I'll get in more of that later. I'm at the gym here and I can't get in the neutral. There we go. So I'll get into more of that on the way back from the gym. That was a very good shoulder, calves, and ab workout. Shoulders are dead. So anyways, to kind of pick up where I left off, I was saying my wife and I kind of had to deal with being in a new relationship, which is crazy because I had actually just gotten out of a relationship that I had been in since high school, so a good 3 years, and I had to make a decision as to whether or not, you know, I wanted to pursue this other girl that I've never known before. You know, before I had met her, you know, we didn't go to the same school or anything. She was in a completely different state. So, you know, it was a lot to try to leave something that you're used to and comfortable with to go with something that's completely unknown, which is what my wife is. You know, I didn't know how she was going to be. So I was like, you know what? This girl's different, and I'm gonna take a chance, and I did. And you know, before I went over to Japan, I got to see her for 15 days out in California, and then after that, like I said, it was 45 days total of 3 years actually physically being together. On top of that, I was out at sea and on detachments, different places, for 9 to 11 months out of the year. And communication was maybe an email a week or something like that, or a phone call every month or so. So it was really hard, and I always kind of get a giggle out of people that say they're doing long distance relationships. They're in the same damn state. They're just an hour or so apart. And I always find that funny because, you know, we're thousands of miles away and doing all sorts of different shit. And the petty thing of trust, or the main things of trust, communication, and then appreciating the time that you do actually get to spend with each other is magnified by thousands of percent. You know, it's something that you realize that the little petty bullshit fights don't happen. They can't happen, or else you just start getting frustrated with each other. You can't leave mad because you don't know when the next time you're going to talk to each other is. So you know, early on in our relationship, it was tough. It really was. But my wife, being a very strong, independent woman, is what kind of drew me to her. All my exes prior to that weren't that way. They're needy, materialistic type of people. Not they're bad people, just it just doesn't mesh well with how I am. I want a companion, but I want someone that can hold their own. And my wife was definitely that. She moved out on her own at 16 and took care of herself at that age, had an apartment and everything, had a great job already going. So right there, those of you that are looking for a significant other, especially women, as a male point of view, is you gotta be strong and independent. Don't be needy and needing to have somebody around. When the time comes and you have to be alone, I, as a man, have to know that you can control or contain yourself and hold yourself up. And you know, like I said, that's what my wife did. Going on from that, you know, we took our time. We dated once I finally came back to the U.S. And again, it was sporadic because of my my deployment schedule and whatnot. Then when we finally came time to, you know, let's just try to make this even more serious. So we moved in together. Tried that for a year, and just say we got along great. That is one big thing that you guys may or may not have ever done, is you take a big step in a relationship, but you don't know if you guys can stand being around each other. I mean, if you've never lived day in and day out with somebody, how do you know you're ready to move on to the next step of being engaged and married and whatnot? So that's what we did as boyfriend, girlfriend, moved in with each other. And like I said, it went great. We found out what makes each other tick. We found out what we both do and don't like. You know, whether we're neat freaks or this and that. And luckily, my wife and I are, I wouldn't say lazy, but we're not anal retentive about things. We understand that when you work 40+ hours a week, the last thing you're going to do is come home, do the fucking dishes, or vacuum clean the whole house, or and stuff like that. We understand that, you know, there's got to be a give and take to it. You know, on my days off, I'd clean. Her days off, she'd clean. You know, vice versa. So we helped each other out. And again, those of you that are trying for relationships and whatnot, being able to give and take as guys, being able to swallow your own pride, suck it up, do the chores around the house, and women, you know, not expecting the guy to do everything for you. And again, don't, you know, I'll do this or I'll do that, you know, kind of, you know, taking consideration each other's work schedules and habits and all that stuff is huge in a relationship. And that kind of goes along the lines of, I guess would be the expectations that Flash Ring had mentioned. You know, what do you expect out of a partner, this and that. And that's kind of where you learn what each other can do or can't do, or what each other's good at. Me, when I clean, I am very anal retentive about it. Like, when it is I actually do want to clean, because of the military, you know, I like things to be a certain way. I like things to be done well. I don't believe in half-assing things. So when it gets clean, it better all the way get clean. My wife, on the other hand, goes through, when it looks pretty, it looks pretty. So every once in a while, I'll give her shit, and you know, and she'll give you the old adage, well, if you don't like it, do it yourself. Yeah, fair enough. And I'll take that to heart sometimes. I'll be like, you know, fuck it, I will do it myself. But it's not like it will be a fight about it, like, oh my god, fuck you, no, fuck you, no. It's not like that. There's got to be a give and take when it comes to stuff like that. Let's see what else. Difference of personalities. My wife and I really aren't hugely different in personalities. We're both pretty straightforward. And as a partner, that's something I gotta have. I don't like people beating around the bush, hemming and hawing, and me asking 5 times, what's wrong, oh my god, what can I do to help? No, fuck that. you have a problem, I ask you what your problem is. You come straight out and say it. If I do something that pisses you off, I expect to know about it, so that way I either A, don't do it again, B, tell you, that's just how I am and I didn't mean to come off that way, or C, try to find a happy ground where they understand that whatever you said wasn't necessarily meant in a mean way. And that's again where communication is so huge, that if you can't communicate between each other what's bugging you, then you're never going to work as a couple. Because being with the same person for 10 years, she does shit that pisses me off. And I do shit that annoys the hell out of her. But we tell each other. We'll say, hey, that really bugs the hell out of me. Can you not do that again? Alright, fair enough. Point taken, If you get mad at being criticized for doing something, especially if it's constructive criticism, then you yourself have to look in the mirror and go, you know what, maybe I do have flaws and maybe I gotta listen to some of these little suggestions. And that's what it comes down to. Guys, you gotta swallow your pride, you just have to. You're not gonna be right 100% of the time. Women, you also will not be right 100% of the time. I, on a regular basis, will prove my wife wrong. Regularly. Prove her wrong. Not opinionating her wrong, prove her wrong. She will do the same shit to me. I'll say something and she'll be like, no, and I'll be like, yeah, and it'll go back and forth for a minute and she'll prove me wrong. And I'll be like, you know what? My bad. My bad. I was wrong on that one. And that's the biggest thing, is being mature enough to say, you know what, I fucked up, I'm sorry. And the biggest thing with guys and girls, whatever, is you can't change the person you're with. You cannot do it. However, you as a person could change for the better because you yourself want to. And honestly, my wife is that person that made me want to change to improve myself. Where the fuck you going, dipshit? Dumb motherfucker. Kind of another example of what my wife did that this is actually the moment where I go, you know what, this woman is special and she is most certainly the one. I was in Japan and it was Thanksgiving, so obviously I wasn't home for it. My wife she had issues with her family, so she wasn't able to really spend it with her family. So I had offered my wife to go up. She was in Florida, my parents and whatnot are in Maryland. I had offered for her to go up and spend Thanksgiving with my family, knowing that I wasn't going to be there. Now, let me give you paint a little picture. I have a very large Italian family, and all of them are as forthcoming as I am, if not more so. And yeah, she flew up to Maryland, met my mom and dad, and saw my entire family without me being there. To me, that was huge, because my prior girlfriend that I'd been with wouldn't drive 5 minutes to come hang out with my family and I, but I always went to her house. So little things like that made me go, holy shit, this woman is absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So with that, gentlemen, I urge you to look for women that aren't materialistic, that are straight up with you, that aren't afraid to tell you, you know what, you're being a fucking dick and you need to straighten up. And women, I urge you to find a guy that does everything he can to make you happy, and not just kissing your ass happy. I mean, doing the things that actually are important. And yeah, you all have a good one. I hope you enjoy this vlog. It's kind of long-winded, but I'm very passionate about the relationship my wife and I have.